Alrighty. Okay, so we have Brandon here from Off the Wall Promotions.
Woo.
Hello, Brandon.
Hello. Thanks for having me on board, man.
Thanks for coming.
Mate,
Thanks
yeah,
for
looking
coming.
forward to today.
Yeah.
Having a chat.
Awesome. All right, so I've got an icebreaker for you, mate.
Sure.
The first one, what's the most interesting thing you've learned recently?
The most interesting thing I've learned recently, that no matter what happens in life, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, man, with everything to do with,
Literally,
with life and business and all that sort of stuff there. So the most interesting thing I've learned is that how much the human soul can endure with a lot of help and support from people.
That's good. Now, if you could have a dinner with any famous person, who would it be and why?
Okay.
You can't say me, man.
Hey,
You can't say
can't say you. I can, but I know it'd be McDonald's. Well, it have to be my two idols that I grew up with as far as music is concerned, and that's Prince and Michael Jackson.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
to the point. I got their things tattooed.
Cool. Nice. Yeah.
So those two, and it's a funny story because one of my best mates, Brad, we went to the Michael Jackson concert last time he was here at Burswood Dome, and not long after that he died. And then when Prince came for his last concert with the piano at the stadium, again we went there again, and then 2 weeks later he died. So I said to him, I said, "We're a jinx, man. We cannot go to concerts together for the rest of our lives because people die after we go to their concert, man." So, but those two, yeah, Michael Jackson and Prince, have sort of what I grew up with and shaped my musical taste. Yeah, especially Prince with his talent for songwriting and lyrics.
Of course, yeah.
And
Legends.
Yeah, Michael Jackson with his dance move and just who he was as a person. Hence the name of my business, Off the Wall Promotions, is from my favourite MJ album, Off the Wall.
Yeah. What's your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, okay. If we're going to go, depending on the sliding scale of how drunk I am during the nights, okay, I'm not too bad. If I go for the easy one, which is The Wonder of You, Elvis, that's always my go-to. But then if you're going to go later on in the evening there, it's got to be the easy Crowd Pleaser, Sweet Caroline. Just go for the crowd pleasers. It's the best at the karaoke. You don't want to try to be anything that you're not. I'm a DJ, not a singer.
Yeah. How long have you been working as a wedding DJ?
Okay. Officially, I've been in the industry 38 years. So I started just after high school, late 80s. Jesus Christ. I'm nearly as old as him, mate. I've been around DJing for as long as, when Jesus was a boy, I've been DJing. So, yeah, straight out of high school, had no idea what I wanted to do, and sort of, went over to Gold Coast in Queensland, got a job in a bar, bartending, and then made friends with the DJ at the club. Took me under his wing and pretty much started there at a club called Twain's on the Gold Coast there. And at that time, they had a video lounge, so VHS video, so it's all screens. Do you guys know what a VHS is?
Yes, of course. I'm old enough to know.
Because you all look very young. Anyway, an availability came upstairs for a video DJ. So I effectively mixed music videos. So VHS cassette tapes, load them up. Right? So it's like mixing music with a proper mixer, but you're mixing the music and then changing it on the screens for the music video. So I did that for a while, and then went downstairs and learnt the techniques of vinyl record DJing and started from there. So went there, came back to Perth, met my first wife here, and got working the club scene around Perth as a DJ at that time with records. Then transitioned to CDs, and now transitioned to full digital.
Yeah.
But officially 8 years as far as taking the leap of faith to be self-employed and take Off the Wall Promotions as a full-time business basically now. So 8 years officially, but 38 years in the business.
Wow.
Long time.
Long
Very
One of the dinosaurs in Perth. And still loving it.
Yeah. I think I first met you at one of the venue. I can't remember. It was 2017.
Okay, yeah.
I know you. You have like one of those radio voice. Oh man, I love your voice.
Yeah, because I've got to get my radio show as well. On 89.7 is I do that Wednesdays. I've taken a bit of hiatus at the moment, but that radio show I promote live music artists, original artists in Perth, come in for an interview and play some tunes live in the studio. They're original tunes, so just a platform just to get more recognition for individual artists in Perth who are very, very talented with their music, but they don't get the exposure.
Yeah,
Because we don't have. It's not like Sydney or Melbourne. We don't have the outlets for original music here in Perth.
Yeah.
But the amount of fantastic talent we have in Perth. So that's what my show, radio show, is based on. Is just getting exposure for those artists. Yeah. So that's looking forward to getting back to that again.
How do you handle like song request from guests? Yeah.
Tell them to fuck up.
Yeah, smile and wave. Look, it depends. I'm selective with I'm not like other DJs where I say no requests. I'm not that much of a diva because you want to play for the people that are there. You know, so for me, taking a request, I have no issues. I am selective. If I think the song's going to work, I'll definitely play it. If they come up and say, "Hey, can you get this song?" Look at the crowd and say, "Yep, you know what? That song will work." I'll definitely play it. But if they come out and ask for a song that I know is not going to work with this crowd, I sort of say to them, I said, "Yeah, great song, but doesn't work with this crowd." Then I have techniques that I use for drunker people who come up to me and consistently play this song, man, it'll go off, everybody be on the dance floor. So instead of being confrontational, because with the pressure of mixing and DJing live, when you get flustered, when somebody's annoying you, that just doesn't help your mindset. And so I've learned not to do that anymore. So what I do now is I say to them, yeah, no problems. What was your name? And let's say John, okay? And it says John. I said, why is that? I said, well, I'm going to play your request, John, but I'm going to let everybody know that it was you that requested it. And he goes, oh, why is that? And I said, well, if you're saying that it's going to go off, I want you to get all the credit for it. But if it dies in the arse, I also want everybody to know that you requested it. Yeah. So now, do you want me to play your song or not? And they're sort of like, If they say yes, I'll go ahead and do it. But if most of the time they go, oh, don't worry about it then. Once they put their name to what the song is, they back off. So it just saves any confrontation doing it that way. Yeah, and that has worked for me so far.
But if it's the say the bride and groom ask for a request,
oh mate, they pay me. I'll play whatever they want me to play. They pay me. Go and party. I will play whether it works or not. I don't care. It came from the bride. Yeah, and it's like this one's especially for the bride. Yeah. Everybody go. Okay, we won't say anything for the bride, and they dance.
Have you ever had someone requested Mr. Horny?
Yes, I actually. Really? Oh man, funny.
Two Life Crew.
Probably maybe recently, about 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Somebody came up and asked for that one. I have not played that in over 10 years. And they came up and went, what? Yes, I have got that, and played it, and it went off, So, and that's what I love about music, is that people come up and ask me for songs that I haven't heard for ages. And that's my philosophy when it comes to DJing is, a good DJ knows what song to play, but a great DJ knows when to play it. So the timing of songs. And then also my other saying is a good DJ plays songs you didn't even know you wanted to hear. And that's exactly right what you just said. When that came through, I said, play that, and sure enough, everybody, oh wow, it brings them back to a place and time in the 90s, what they were doing when that song came out. So and that's what I love about doing it, just seeing the reaction of people when you're playing songs that they haven't heard for ages. Even though I've played it in the last 6 weddings, that particular song, but they've heard it for the first time in 10 years. So, yeah, Spice Girls, wanna be, hey! So,
do you know that song?
No, I don't know.
Man,
that song.
you should listen to it. It's
such
a good song.
I've probably heard it, but probably.
As you know, like we are all here, like self-employed. What are obstacles that you're facing?
Look, I mean, for me, being a self-employed wedding vendor, first and foremost, when you take that leap of faith, is the financial side of things, because obviously I used to be working 9 to 5 day and then DJing part time, and it wasn't until 8 years ago I got made redundant for my last job. I was a national collections manager, good at it, but it was soul destroying. So luckily I got made redundant from that, and the opportunity came. So from that, when I did it, I started in winter. And as you know, you're looking at least another 12 months before work starts coming in.
Yeah.
So in that short period of time, we was, you know, getting jobs wherever I could. And luckily I had a network in Perth where I could get bar work and waiter work from venues and things like that. So financial stability is the main one. So now I'm at a point where, yeah, I can pay my bills. But the other one is just the mental health issue, the stresses and anxiety of being self-employed and everything that comes along with it. Because for me, you know, as a vendor that is in the public eye at a wedding, you know, like yourselves, video, photography, celebrants, you know, venue coordinators, wedding planners, DJs, musicians, we're all in the public eye at the wedding there. So what you have to master, I suppose, is the mask that you wear for the public, that they see that happy, engaging.
Yeah,
So true. Yeah.
But they never see what's going on behind the mask. So whatever you have in your personal life that's going on in the background, you leave at the front door because the clients have paid for your A game, and that's what you've got to give them. So that mask, changing it over, has been challenging, especially for me in the last recent few months. But a lot of the outside world don't see that. They just see, they book you, and they see what you do, and they book everything, and you have to give them your best. And that's what I try and do, but geez, it can be hard sometimes depending on what's going on in your personal life, but that can't affect you in your public life when you're a wedding vendor. So that mental health balance is can be quite struggling at times. And that's why I think it's important within the wedding industry that, you know, there is a community of people that you trust, vendors within there that you can talk to about that sort of stuff, because they understand. But the outside world will never know. So, you know, when you're having a bad day, you only get one shot because it's at a wedding. You know, you can't make a mistake. There's no redos, there's no retakes. You know, you know, apart from the birth of your first child, you know, the wedding is the most important day of a couple's life. So there is no redos. So, you know, if I don't get it right, I can't redo it again. I'll catch you at the next wedding, and I'll be better at the next wedding. You know, and same with you guys as well. You know, you've got to make sure you know, when to take a perfect shot, you've got to be there to be ready for that shot. Because you know, if the sun goes down and you miss that sunset shot, then you don't get a chance to redo.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Tomorrow sunset, Photoshop. That's what I'm going to but that's the stress, I guess, as wedding vendors, in particular, who are in the public eye. That's something that I struggled with. Now I think I'm getting pretty good at it, but you can't tell, especially through social media, because social media is what you portray out there, and that's what people see, and that's what they expect. Nobody puts a bad thing out there about, you know, social media.
That's the thing about social media, I guess.
Exactly.
You can just fool anyone, I guess.
And that's what it is, you know. And that is really, really important, I think, in the wedding industry, is that social media now has taken such a predominant role in marketing and promotions for your business that the focus is on that. So it's a surreal sort of thing. It's not, for us, it's not real life as such, because it's what you want people to see, because people don't see what's happening in your personal life.
That's right.
Except, So it's just a matter of getting that balancing act.
And I guess as a wedding DJ, you have to be more lively, I guess.
Absolutely,
You bring the atmosphere to the actual wedding.
You have to, especially when you're emceeing as well. That's even harder, because you're, you know, a good wedding DJ should also be a good MC as well, and be able to engage the crowd and that sort of stuff. So for me, I love doing that. I love engaging. I love being an MC. But you have to be on top of your game to make sure that you deliver what people expect, and then that's, you know, make them laugh and all that sort of stuff, engage with them. where the couples have got their own MC, whether it's a friend or a family member, or even a lot of celebrants also offer MC service as well. So if you've got somebody else taking care of that, it takes the pressure off me.
Yeah.
I just do the music in the background there, so I'm not in the public eye as such. I just wait till the dance floor starts, then that's my time to kick off. So those ones, if I'm having a bad day, it's easier to handle. But when you're having a bad day and you're an MC, you have to leave that at the door, and you gotta just get in there and bang. And luckily for me, I've sort of mastered the art of what I call masking.
I was gonna say, yeah. Every time I see Brendan, he's just,
Yeah, like a lively
Yeah.
kind of person.
Yeah,
just bubbly. Yeah.
Yeah, all smile.
Bro, how do you do it?
Yeah. Years of experience, man. And you have to. I mean, that is my personality naturally. You know, I am, happy and outgoing and things like that. But, like everybody else, you do have a bad day. But when you're in the public eye, that bad day doesn't matter when it comes to what you have to perform and what you have to produce.
Yeah.
So for me, it's therapeutic because I can, if I am having a bad day, the more I get into it and engage and feed off the crowd and all that, the less it gets less in the back of your head with what's going on in your personal life. So it does help. But then come midnight, you pack down and all that, it's like everybody goes home and you back to what your thoughts were prior to the wedding starting. So
Have you ever had like a burnout, like doing this?
Absolutely. And I didn't even think that was a thing until it happened to me. It's like, you heard of what burnout is, but you don't actually know. And it's actually a physical condition that I suffered December last year. Wow. Last year was the biggest year Off the Wall had as far as the amount of gigs post-COVID, basically. So just in December alone, I think we had 32 weddings and events just in December. And I had not had that many or experienced that many. And out of those, I think I was doing about 18 or 19 of those myself personally. And then obviously organising and supervising and making sure everything's in place for all the other ones. And that's just not DJing, that's, musicians, dance floors, photo, but all that sort of stuff that we provide. We had bookings for. So I got to a point where it was a Friday from memory. And by this stage, I was absolutely knackered, and I still had Friday, Saturday, Sunday to go for gigs. And it was a Friday, and had a shower, walked into the bedroom to start getting changed, and I just collapsed and didn't know what was going on and couldn't move, and just lethargic, got myself onto the bed and just thought, I can't do this. I can't get up. I can't, it's a physical sensation.
Yeah.
And so there I was trying to get another DJ firstly to cover that one there, ringing the venue, letting them know what happened there, which Beck at Bathers Beach House was very, very sympathetic to it and sort of said, yep, no problems. When the DJ comes, she'll sort that out, and letting the client know, obviously, that I couldn't make it. So those things had to happen, even though I was going in the midst of a burnout. After all that was done, I just laid there and just went, and just collapsed. Didn't know what was wrong, went to the doctor and explained to him everything, and he said, that's burnout. And I said, what do you mean? He said, that's burnout. Your body just shuts down. It just says, you need to stop. You need
too much.
Too much. Because you're working on 4 or 5 hours sleep, and you're constantly, your mind is constantly working on what you've got to do and things like that. So to avoid that is don't do as much. You just take time to back off. That's the hardest part for me, is because I don't know the word no in my vocabulary when it comes to inquiries. That's the problem.
And knowing your limits, I guess.
Knowing your limits, 100%. I learnt a lot from that. I'm not going to say I'm not going to take that many gigs. If they come in, I'll take them, but I just won't be doing as many personally. I've got a team of fantastic event DJs that work for me, musicians and all that. So it's just filtering out more work and taking the pressure off yourself, because I've got to be making sure that I'm available for behind the scenes stuff. If there's a problem, and I'm already at a wedding doing a gig, I've got to try and solve the problem that they're having at their wedding or event. So yeah, I learned a lot from that. So burnout helped me to know this year what to take on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because I know that the more gig we get, the more money will come in. Right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. It's like sometimes we have to set the boundaries between, hey, that's it, this is enough, this is enough for me, and
Yep,
then
yep.
try to delegate with your team.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. Because I'm mindful. Luckily, post COVID, it hasn't happened yet. Where you could set your clock to the downtime, which is your winter. So
Yeah.
August, June, July. That period of time, that's going to be quieter. So you sort of budget for that during the busier times, which was my intention. Is why I took so much on. But since COVID, I haven't actually had a downtime. So I haven't had any weekends where I wasn't working. So even though it's a quieter, it just means I'm doing 1 gig per weekend instead of 3. So I haven't actually had a break
yeah.
where I could go on holidays. Whereas pre-COVID, July, me and the boys, we went to Bali. You set your clock on it. We go to Bali every July because I know I've got 2 or 3 weeks off.
Yeah.
And I haven't done that, probably for 5 years. So,
okay.
post COVID, I haven't actually had a break. I think this year, I looked at my calendar, I think I got 1 weekend off in July. Then I'm going down south with my family.
That's good.
But that's it. Then it's
Back to
every
work again.
weekend.
Yeah.
Even though it's just 1 gig, you're still working. There's no actual long period of time of a break.
Yeah. You can't go anywhere. You can't
Yeah,
fly
that's
anywhere.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have to actively make sure I allocate 2 weeks off to do something. Next year.
I remember when I was starting out, I took some random jobs, photography jobs, and I think I was at the point like, screw this, I've had enough.
Yep.
And there was no time for myself and for my
Absolutely.
family.
Yep.
And my boy was still younger back then. It's like they need me.
Yeah.
And then my wife, she needs my help with the family and stuff. And then because of the job, it's like on the weekend, and I missed all that.
Yeah.
That's the bad side of being, wedding
Absolutely.
vendors.
So everything's on the weekend.
Everything
That's
on the weekend,
yeah.
exactly.
And you miss out on a lot. You miss out on birthdays
Yeah.
and celebrations and milestones because you can't go because you're working.
Yeah.
And I have not been to a celebration or party in I don't know how long where I was just a guest at a party. So nowadays, my friends and family, if they're having a milestone or something that they want me to be at, they'll give me at least 12 months notice. Hey, next year I'm this, and I have to physically book it in. That's how bad it gets.
Yeah.
Or it's, hey, I'm having a party. Can you DJ? So I go as a DJ and a guest. That's how I get to go out to socialise. But you're right. Yeah, we miss out a lot, and I think the general public don't realise that or don't equate that. That's where they're making sure you have a magnificent night, but on that particular night, you're missing out on your parents' anniversary celebration
That's right.
or family member's birthday party. So that sort of side of things there is another. Although it's something I miss out on, but I'm used to it now, and people that know me are used to it. They stop asking me. The boys, we're going to go pub. Oh, yeah, don't worry about Brandon, he'll be working. And I just catch up on Facebook and go, oh, yeah, glad you guys had a great time.
Have you ever had imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome
Is
is...
it like not being good enough or like
Yeah, something like that.
am
Yeah.
I
Like
overcharging
comparing-
my clients or like
Yeah, like comparing ourselves
to other
with different
vendors,
vendors.
yeah.
Sure, yeah. I haven't had that happen to me where I was comparing myself. Am I good enough? Sort of things. There, it's like it was more like I want to be as good as that person. So I didn't suffer that I wasn't good enough because I guess it comes with the experience that I've had. I know that I'm good at what I do, and I'm always striving to become better. And when I see other DJs, entertainers out there do what they do, I thought that's pretty cool. That's something that I want to aspire to. I try to emulate what they do as well to improve myself. But as far as self-doubt and thinking if I'm good enough and that sort of stuff there, I haven't suffered from that as such. I guess it also comes down to having an ego as well. It's just like fake it till you make it. And that's, worked for 30 odd years while I'm doing it because I just say yes and then work it out later how to do it. And luckily for me, it's worked. And nobody knows any different. They just think, oh, wow. Like I did because like a couple of other things that I do that is out of my comfort zone is I've just taken on for the Eastern Suns basketball team in Kalamunda for the NBL. They were looking for a courtside DJ for their games, home games, and I was approached to do it. No experience, no nothing with what you do. I haven't seen a basketball game for. I think Harlem Globetrotters back in '92 was the last time I went to a basketball game. I don't see Wildcats games, so I had no idea what was involved. But I said, yeah, okay, I'll give it a go. And yeah, it was a baptism of fire. Just go in there and work it out as you went along. So I'll say yes to any challenge and work it out from there. It's like radio. I had no intentions of going to radio. That sort of fell in my lap and learnt my way through that. So just expanding challenging myself with what I can do within the music side of things, but expanding it out to things like music quiz nights is another thing that now I'm doing as well. I'm doing karaoke and all that sort of stuff that I offer now. So expanding what I do is it just keeps me interested and keeps me out of my comfort zone, basically. Challenges me.
For us as a photographer, videographer, I think I don't know, like from your side of the story, but for me, sometimes I do a lot of different photographers' work. Like if I see this guy is doing something different, it's like, oh, I want to shoot something like that.
Yes.
But if I copy what he does, I'm good. My photo is going to be the same like this guy.
Yeah.
Right? So I want to do something different. Sometimes I feel challenged, and sometimes I feel like, oh, my photo is not good.
Yeah.
Feel like lower grade kind of photographer.
Yeah, your worst own critic, definitely. Yeah.
And then sometimes I feel like, do I charge
Too much.
or too low?
Yeah.
Things that in my mind a lot. Well, especially when I first started. As I've grown mature as a photographer, I started not to think about the other stuff. I just keep
100%.
doing what I'm doing. For me personally, every photographers are good. And then they're doing what they're doing, and I'm just going to be doing what I'm doing.
Absolutely, man. You hit it on the head there, which is what I teach my students, because I also teach DJing. And I just let them know, don't worry about what others are doing. I mean, they're doing what they're doing, but you don't focus on what they're doing, just focus on what you're doing. Because I got guys coming up to me and sort of say, why are you teaching new DJs into the industry? We've got so many DJs. I said, mate, if you're worried about a 21-year-old, no experience, coming in, learning for the first time, doing a wedding, then that says more about yourself than it does about what this guy's going to do. You charge what you think you're worth. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Because in our industry, we do need what I call the bottom feeders, as far as ridiculously cheap, get a lot of work, but that's their niche, that's their market, that's not my clientele. So I don't care what other people charge, because if it's lower than me, that's not my clientele. Higher than me, it's not my clientele. Where I am at the moment, the people who like that price and like me will book me. And that's how I run my business. I run it because of what I want to do and what I want to do, not what everybody else wants to do or what everybody else is doing or what they think I'm doing. Makes no difference to me when people ring up and, oh man, you've seen this guy charging $600 for a wedding. I said, yeah, cool. Are you? No. I said, so what are you worried about? They're not your clients, so don't even worry about what they're charging. And at the benefit, I don't know if it's the same with you guys. I guess it's the same principle, but for me, is we need those guys that come in who know how to play a Spotify list and call themselves a DJ and all that sort of stuff there, but there's so much more involved in being it that when they get booked at a wedding for the bride and groom or the wedding couple, it's too late for them to realise that, you pay for what you get, this guy's really shit, right? It's too late for them, they've already booked it, he's there. However, for the other 80 or 90 guests that are there, they now know what a shit DJ is. And go, how much you pay for them? $600. That's why.
That's why.
Okay. So we need those people to educate the general public, because the general public don't know that. The biggest comment is, we've never been married before, don't know what's involved in being a DJ, don't know how much DJs charge. That's the general sort of inquiries. And I say, well, this is my price. I'm not the cheapest and not the most expensive, but you pay for what you get. And for me, it's the experience. 38 years of experience in not just DJing and getting that dance floor going, but making sure that the behind the scenes stuff is taken care of, liaising with you guys, for photographers, videographers, and venue managers. So everything's just running smoothly, so that the front of house just happens. But there's a lot of back end work. That's part and parcel of being a DJ and MC, taking care of that, and then the dance floor and making sure the bride and groom are having a good time, that sort of stuff. There's a lot more involved than just pushing a button that everybody thinks the DJ does.
Yeah.
That's great. Come in here, push a button. What song are you going to play next? Have no idea. So the experience of how to read a crowd, how to change the music around if it's not working, and think on your feet, is what you're paying for when it comes to something that's not governed. We don't have a governing body in our industry, that sort of stipulates pricing structure and all that. So there is extremes of prices within the industry, and you just got to research reviews. That's all I can go down to read reviews and see what other people say. That's really how you're going to govern it. Then price doesn't become a factor. It's let's book you. Yeah, so that's my philosophy as far as that side. Don't worry about what others are doing. Just concentrate that you are doing the best you can.
Yeah. I've also got young photographers always come up to me like saying, Alvin, how do you get that shot? How do you get that perfect angle? Personally, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Like giving them advice.
Absolutely.
Telling them what to do, camera settings and all that. I would be happy to help.
Yeah.
I've got a few friends back in the day, like they just asked question and then just took me for granted.
Absolutely.
Basically, like, screw you in the back and then just left you like high and dry. To be honest, I will never ever stop like giving advice to someone.
Absolutely.
Like, that's just me. That's just me. Like I know if someone stabbed me in the back, I will hurt, but it's okay.
Exactly.
You just know the people more, I guess.
Yeah.
You can tell.
The character of people, exactly, depending on what they want, if they're going to use you or not, And like you said, I'm the same as you, man, cut from the same cloth. I want to help people. I want to give back. I want to, encourage people and things like that. And I have a lot of friends in the industry within the entertainment business side of things there, and it's about collaboration, not competition.
Oh, exactly. 100%.
You're helping each other.
That's why we're doing here.
Yes,
Absolutely.
exactly. But then you've got those out there who think, I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to do that. I don't. They're not my peoples,
Exactly.
I don't want to know you, and I get inspired for helping people because you're helping them, because when I started Off the Wall 8 years ago, the reason I had promotions on the end of it and not time when I started it, so I didn't want to keep it closed off with just what I do and it's associated with DJs. So when I started that, I knew that I couldn't just myself be a DJ and earn enough money as a full-time business with just me in it. So I knew I was going to expand with other DJs, contracting them, and then came up with the engaging DJ live music because I have a lot of musician friends, and at the time started to get them more work. So I thought, let's combine the DJ live music in a wedding and present that. This is 8 years ago, which wasn't very popular then. And I was one of the first to sort of come up with that concept in Perth. And that has now grown. And now every DJ company offers ancillary things like your live music and add-ons, your photo booths and all that sort of stuff there. So that was my intention starting at 8 years ago. What do I add on to? So now I add on everything, all the fun stuff to go with it. Your DJs, your musicians, dance floors, dancing on clouds, fireworks, photo booths, all that sort of stuff. So it's one stop. But that's not me stocking everything. That's me collaborating with other vendors and working with them. So sharing the love basically as far as a full package. And that's the biggest part for me is the collaboration. It just works.
Everyone wins.
Exactly. Everyone wins. 100%. Right. Making life easy for everybody.
That's right. What do you think the strategies to overcome imposter syndrome?
Look, a lot of that comes back to mental health as well. It's your state of mind, because that plays a big part. Your self-doubt in yourself, gets you into a hole because you see and you think that other people are better than you. And like you said, you're an imposter. You haven't got it. that's where you need outside help, because once you're in that hole, it is very, very hard to kind of pull yourself out. And, you know, to the detriment of some businesses where they fold because of that mental health issue, being self-employed and having the pressures that goes along with that, that the public don't see. They see the finished, polished product on social media. You know?
I think a lot of it comes from social media itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
and you're comparing. Yeah.
It's like other vendors are like getting booked every weekend.
Yeah. Why am I doing wrong?
Yeah. He's doing like 100 to 200 weddings.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
and that's why I think the groups and collaborations are happening in Perth, because it is a small community there. So you do have your sort of your niche market, your friends who are vendors, and you know, you need that. You can't be just on your own thinking that you can do this. You know, you're like a shag on a rock out there, and you know the sharks are circling around you. And that's sometimes how it feels when you first get into it.
Yeah.
And it's not until you realise that, hey, some of those sharks are dolphins. You know, they're friends. They're friends, and you need other people to help you. That imposter syndrome is a mindset and mental health that if you get in that hole, it is very hard to get out of. So you need to be able to reach out and lean on people and other people to encourage you. And you just feed off each other. That's really the only thing I can advise is don't do it on your own. I've learned that with what I'm going through currently at the moment. You know, my partner's just been diagnosed with terminal cancer, and you know, a 13-year-old boy just came out of hospital after 5 weeks in there with a cerebral fluid leak in his neck that. Yeah, he went through hell and back, and just his inspiration, learning from him and seeing what he went through, and it's just like, you know what, if he can do that, I can do that. You know, partner's going through with what she's going through with the cancer and all that sort of stuff. That's all happening in the background for me, but when I get a Saturday night, I'm doing a wedding, you have to leave that behind, you know, and that strength of character or challenge to overcome and put that mask on has been tested on me. So, yeah, mental health plays a big part with self-employed vendors within the wedding industry. The pressures and stresses is unbelievable that the general public actually don't know about, or maybe not even care about, because it's their big day. They're paying you to do what you do best, and you got to provide it. You know, you can't take it personally. You know, and that's I guess another problem. If there is a confrontation or something goes wrong at the wedding, you know, I'm sure you guys would get the same as what I do. It's how you handle it with them. If you're having a bad day and then that sort of ignites something because it's a snowball effect and you start blowing up or arguing or reacting in the wrong way, that you would normally do if everything was going fine. That's another detriment that we've got to try and control as well, because you know there's so many times you can hear a drunk person go, play horses, play Wonderwall, you know, it's like, yeah, cool. At times you just want to punch them in the face and say, shut the fuck up, dude. But you just smile and nod, cool, it's coming, it's coming. And towards the end of the night, sing along, yeah, it's coming. And you know, if I didn't have that control, I would say, fuck off, I'm not playing it. Go away, piss off, you know. And that just starts shit, and it just spoils the couple's day because of me. I can't do that. Can't afford to do that. No vendor can afford to do that. So you need to keep that mask well and firmly on at all times, regardless of your personal turmoil.
That's hard, yeah.
It is.
It's going to backfire. That's the massive thing. Like, if one bride complains, you know, that's it.
Yep. And it's a snowball effect because, you know, the keyboard warriors, bang, straight away. You know, I was at a wedding and this person did it. And just one bad review. And it just, you have to go into damage control. And then you think, in hindsight, shit, I shouldn't have done that. I could have done that better, and learn from that. You know, one bad review is equivalent to 10 good reviews.
That's right.
So you just need to get everybody to give you good reviews to bury that one so it goes further down the list. You know, luckily for me, I've only had one in my entire career as far as a written bad review. It's how you also respond and react to that as well. You know, you read it and you're angry at first, and that's not fair, that's not right. You know, that's not all true there. So you don't knee-jerk and reply straight away. You read it, you go through
Process
all
it,
the
yeah.
emotions,
Mhm.
process it,
Yeah.
cool, take, okay. And then the next day, go back and calmly reply. Because how you reply to a bad review is more important than having a good review, because you
Yeah.
have to work harder to get that back. And this one review, it was very well thought out, very well written, and for me, with the network that I've got, read it and also jumped on board and saw the review and came on board. Even past clients saw that review and jumped on board there. I had about 24, 25 comments on that review itself there, and deleted it. I didn't delete it, the person who wrote it deleted it, because they just like, so that was just showed me, it humbled me with regards to the community that you, and that's things like that is so important, because you've got that network of people that can support you. Yeah, so don't do it alone.
Yeah. Was it on Google or Facebook?
Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah. So and then that got deleted because it's like everything was incorrect what they said, and I just pointed it all out, and and then didn't sync to the low of what name calling is what he was calling me. I remember the one comment said, "Off the wall," more like "off your head," you know. I had to giggle. I read that. That's funny. I like that. You know, I didn't take it personally. I read that and thought, that's funny. You know, and I played to that and I said, I do admire your your use of words, and off the head, mate, gave me a giggle. That pisses people off more that you didn't get upset.
That's true. Yeah.
And just don't get suckered into getting upset because you're playing into their hands. That's what they want you to do.
Yeah.
If you laugh it off and say, "Yep, cool, you're entitled to your opinion, and this is what I think," let it go. It just pisses people off more that they couldn't get to you. And that's part of the mask that you wear. Inside, it cuts you up, it hurts, but you can't let that show. And that's another mental health challenge that we have to deal with as self-employed. Yeah. Okay. I love your hair. How do you do your hair like that? Do you have to do it every day?
I do it every day. Yeah.
Every day. Yeah. You look magnificent.
Thanks.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
I just got out half an hour ago. I woke up like this.
Yep, that's it.
So do you think, is there any like mental health resources are available specifically for professionals in the wedding industry?
I haven't found anyone because it's quite a unique industry to be in, because every event is different, and depending on what your category is within that, whether it's celebrant video, photos, DJ, music, we all have our own unique mental health issues within what we do in our profession, but there isn't anything out there as far as in the public eye that specialise in it. So there's no psychologist or psychiatrist that just deals with wedding vendors as such. So even though I have engaged services of psychologists just to help me out with what I'm currently going through personally, but that's separate. That's my personal life. But then it entwines into my business life. For me, it's just making sure that you have people around you that you can talk to, that can help you out. That I guess for me, that's the most important thing, which is what I found out, because I'm very personal as far as what I keep inside me. I thought you're Superman, you're indestructible. I'm juggling chainsaws on a tightrope, and I'm good at it, and that's what I do. So you don't need any help. It's not until you fall that you go, oh shit, that's a ground, not a safety net there. So I need that safety net for when I do fall. And guys like other vendors who I consider good friends as well. Just reaching out to them, it takes a lot. It is very much a pride thing, because I used to think, same as like the imposter syndrome, I used to think it was showing a weakness when you reached out for help, because you're so worried about what other people think about you, that you go, I need to stay up here. And today, actually this morning and yesterday, it got to the point where, my pride can get shoved. I need to be honest and let the people around me know within the industry who have helped me during this hard time in my life, and just came clean with them with regards to what's going on with me. And yes, send out an email, full disclosure. This is my life. This is what's happening, and you guys have all that information, and it's up to you to see what you want to do with it. You know? And most of them will support you and say, okay, cool. So that's recently I've learnt that. Swallow your pride. Yeah, you need help. It's not shameful to reach out to people and just ask, because you'll be surprised at the answer. Yeah. So make sure you have people around you. That's pretty much what you need to do.
I mean, that's what I do as well. Like if it's quiet time as well, like during this period, I try to catch up with other friends.
Yes.
Photographers. See how they're doing.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't catch up with you as well.
That's right.
But you have to make more time for other things.
Yeah,
it's not just about work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because when you do catch up with people out there, it is predominantly about work and that sort, which is what you need to keep that camaraderie in place there. But you do need to actually, like you said, family time and your own time, your self time as well. Because I like my own company, so I do like being by myself and doing things on my own. But then you've got your family life there, and then you've got your friends, you got your industry friends as well. So quite a lot of people that you have in your network that you need to engage with, just to keep that balance.
Yeah.
In making sure that you can perform and give the clients what they've paid for, what they expect, your A game. But there's a lot behind the scenes that goes involved to build that foundation so you can give your best.
100%.
And that is people within the industry that support you.
Yeah. And just, I don't know, like for me personally, just telling someone what I'm going through lessens the feeling that I have inside. So, it helps just talking to people. Yeah. That's all you have to do. Talk to people.
Talk to people. Don't be scared. Don't feel ashamed. Mental health is, although getting more and more talked about, but it's still taboo. It's still something that happens, especially in our industry with being self-employed. You've got the stresses of that, earning an income, especially if you're the main breadwinner for the family, like myself. Being self-employed, you've got to make sure that money comes in, put food on the table and things like that. So you've got that stress, and then you've got what other stresses, especially if you have young children and all that sort of stuff there. You got their schooling, if they're failing, you've got to be involved in what's happening. A lot of that is happening behind the scenes. So when you're trying to do the best you can, you just need that support. Absolutely need that support. And like you said, man, it took me a long time because I'm a very private person, but had to reach out. And help can come from out of anywhere. If you don't ask, you don't get.
I like my own time, as you would. Like, but sometimes if I get in a room, like if I'm in a room for a very long time, but just by myself, my mind just drifting somewhere. Like sometimes thinking about work.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like most of the time, fear would get into my head.
Yeah.
And then it's like, will I get work? Will I get any booking next week or 2 weeks? Will I get money to put food on the table?
Absolutely.
So all these things, it's just playing with your mind. It's like stress me out. That's why my wife always tells me, go out, just have lunch with your friends. Just go talk to somebody. Call someone. It's like, at first I ignore her, but then it's true. Like it's really helps me as a person, and it's good for my soul as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Because you do need that outlet, and like you said, we take on too much because we're the breadwinners. We need to provide, and the whole macho bullshit that goes along with that. Like sometimes your partner or wife, girlfriend, they are right. They can see it from an outsider point of view and say, you need to do something because you're driving me nuts. Get the hell out of my face. Do it out of love, but you just leave. go and sort yourself out. And that is very important because the doubt, like you said, the fear, especially when I first started, it's like what you were saying, it's like you're going through forward bookings and going, okay, that one, I haven't got something for there, and then you got to sort of budget there, and it's just absolute nightmare trying to balance that. And until you get to a point where you believe in yourself, that's the hardest part, is believing in yourself, because only you can do that. Once you get to that point, then you start relaxing a little bit more, but it doesn't stop that doubt and fear, especially being self-employed, because you're looking at June, July's coming up there, and your quiet period, and it's like, have I got enough in the bank to cover that time frame? So that fear, I think, it's always there. It's good to have it there, because then it keeps you on your toes, but don't let it eat you up and take you over, because then your business starts to suffer.
Like as you've mentioned, June and July is the slow seasons, right? So what financial management strategies do you think it'll help to reduce stress, like financial stress during that time period, you reckon?
I think for me, it's the budgeting side of things. I'm useless at it.
Same.
Just in general mails. So, with that, it's a very good point, because, the budgeting side of things, especially admin, which again, useless at. I love DJing, I love entertaining, and my admin side is always the last thing that gets, you put it off until you have to do it. So you've got the allocation of, your GST and your tax and all that. So you got to, although in theory, it sounds good when you get paid, you take the GST, put it into a separate account, like you should, like your accountant tells you to do. But nobody does. Well, nobody that I know does. It's there. I'll replace it later from this, and you just need it. But the allocation of budgeting, I think, reap the rewards of your busy seasons from your November through to April, and I guess making sure you put what you need aside to survive a couple of months when you start getting into that quiet season. If anything else, have that put aside and saved up, as opposed to, if hopefully nobody from the tax department is listening, your tax or your BAS and all that sort of stuff there, that it's on time. I'll go on a payment plan with that. So, but you need to survive, you need to eat during those winter months. So budget, put the money aside for those winter months, and so you can survive. So you're not as stressful. If you can see your bank balance, you got X amount for those months there, you're good. It's just when that starts looking zero and go, I can only survive for a week during the downtime.
You look at your fridge, what's in there?
Still
have food or not?
Migo ring is on special.
Yeah,
Pack of 10. That'll do. Spud check, $5.99 for 10 pack. Get 3 of those.
That's good. Budgeting,
Budgeting helps. Great in theory, but it takes a lot to put into practice. I 100% know that feeling.
especially when we already pay GST. That sucks.
That's right. For the GST component part there. Forgot about that bit.
What self-care routines are most beneficial for wedding vendors with irregular work schedules?
That's a good question. It's also a very, very double-edged sword answer, because we know that we work irregular hours, as you said, especially DJs and musicians that work through midnight, things like that. We start later but work later, but then guys like you that start earlier at 12 o'clock in prees and all that, and even though you finish at 8 or 9, you're talking about a 10-12 hour day. Whereas for entertainers, we're looking at 6 hours, 8 hours sort of time frame, but it still takes a lot out of you. So for me, I just write off the weekends, as in, like, I'll get sleep whenever I can, but Monday and Tuesday, I guess, are our, well, not so much Monday, because you've got to catch up on everything from the weekend. Tuesday, Wednesday is our weekend as such. So it's just like getting back into some sort of normal routine during the week to try and sleep. Easier said than done in our industry, because especially for you guys with editing, you could have 20 hours worth of editing post event. So it just doesn't stop with just the wedding, and a lot of the general public don't realise that. They just, wow, you're so expensive. You're only going to be there for 6 hours taking photos. It's like, Yeah, but the 25 hours that I have to do
Afterwards,
the
yeah.
editing and all post editing, they don't think that, you know, and that's an education process as far as the general public. But as far as trying to self-care, I guess, well, I saw you had a gym out there, so you know, that's a good thing. I wish I had the motivation to be able to do that. I don't. Yeah, I can say, you know, eat healthy, get sleep, and all that sort of stuff there, and preach all of that. But it's what you should do. But for me, I've been doing this for so long and doing the unhealthiness of my lifestyle for so long that my body's now used to that. So if I did anything that, you know, if I got 8 hours sleep or 10 hours sleep, my body would just wake up naturally after 4 hours and go, "What are you doing, dude? Wake up!" And you just got to sleep. So for me, it's individually. Each person has to find their own self-care routine. It's not one fits all sort of routine. So depending on your industry. For me, I just try to get as much sleep as I can when I can. It doesn't necessarily have to be during the night. I might sleep for, 3 hours during the day, have a nap, get up there, but then I'm up till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning doing emails. That's just how my body works.
Yeah.
It works for me. I'm still going, but trying to eat healthy, and caffeine helps me. That's lots of cups of tea. For me, the self-care, I guess, is not so much in my physical body side of things. It's more in my vainness as far as my appearance, because I am getting older. One of the older DJs in Perth. I've been told I don't look as old as I am, and that's because I spend a fortune in product for my face, creams and wrinkle creams and all that sort of stuff there. So for me, the self-care is in my appearance, because that's what people are seeing. So I sort of emphasize that. I make sure, cleanse and moisturize and scrub and exfoliate and all the stuff that you got to do as far as the beauty routine, I guess the ladies would call it. But for me, it's just the maintenance of my appearance, as opposed to eating healthy as such. So that's my wellness. Is as long as I look good, then I'm happy. Yeah.
Do you have any?
What about yourself? Do you
How
have
do you
any?
relieve your stress?
Me?
Yeah.
What self-care do you do?
Just watching Netflix, I would say.
Yeah.
Watching Netflix, just watch any random movies. Like, look, to be honest, like if I turn on any movies, I wouldn't watch it. My mind just go anywhere.
Have to edit this.
Have to
edit this.
Yeah, it's like movies on the telly
And on the phone. Yeah.
All right. Oh, they do this. Oh yeah. This thing going on over here. Yeah. Wait.
Dude, I just thought that was the younger generation, but I know what you mean. The older generation are doing the same thing. It's like, how do you do that? You know? And that's just working your mind, man. Because I can't. For me personally, I can't go on my phone and watch. I can't multitask in that. I need to just watch the show or watch my phone. I can't do both.
Yeah. I don't know. Like physically, I want to just rest, like on my couch somewhere.
Yep.
Watching movie, but my mind is just thinking about work.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how do I do this? How do I do that? Do a bit of research on my phone. But I ended up like not watching the movie.
You just turn it off and then
Just turn it off.
Yeah.
Finally,
There's no
screw
point.
this.
Yeah. That's why I if I watch a movie, I have to watch it to the end. That's to my detriment, regardless of what's going on. I have to see it through the end, because if I stop, I won't come back to it. I'll you go on Netflix and continue watching, and you've got 15 things that you started watching that you haven't finished yet. Yeah. So for me, I've now started, because I'm a lover of watching Netflix, Prime and all that. But instead of movies, I now watch series or docos.
Yeah.
30 minutes, 40 minutes, that's it, and finish. Yep, okay, next episode can wait.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to catch up, because the worst part for me is watching something, not finishing it, then 3-4 days later going back, watching it, but then you can't remember what it was that it was. So you end up rewinding it and watching it again to refresh your memory.
Yeah.
And I hated doing that. So now it's like, you know what? I'm just going to watch a docu-series and episodes. I just watch one episode at a time. Short bursts. That works for me to get that time in to watch my favourite shows. Yeah.
If not, just watch YouTube.
Yeah.
or like a short
Like
YouTube
30 minutes video.
30 minutes.
Watch the
50
podcast,
minutes,
yeah.
Yeah, podcast. Yeah. I've been
Yeah.
getting more and more into podcasts and things like that. Just listening to different stories and all that. So now when I'm driving, it's weird because I'm a DJ. People assume you're all about music, but
Yeah.
that's my job. So for me, my downtime doesn't involve music.
You don't want to listen to any songs.
I
you
don't
know?
want to listen to music,
Yeah.
especially songs that I play on the weekends. I like to listen to new music.
Yeah.
But more importantly, now I just listen to podcasts when I'm in the car by myself driving. I just listen to podcasts as opposed to playing music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because if I just press shuffle on my Spotify,
Yeah.
it's the songs that I play every week. It's like Love Shack comes on. Are you kidding me? Horses, YMCA, Grease Mega Mix. No.
Yeah.
So my taste in music when I listen is old school funk, R&B, 70s, 80s sort of stuff there. And that's my jam. That's what I listen to if I'm listening to music. I don't listen to new music and all that sort of stuff there. But podcasts and other forms of audio outlet for me as a DJ, not just playing music. I do enough of that in my studio and when I'm working.
Yeah. For me, because I grew up in the 90s,
Yep.
I listened to a lot of Nirvana, Soundgarden,
Yes.
Pearl Jam,
Yep.
those like rock music back in the day.
Mhm.
But see, the thing is, those music doesn't work really well with the wedding photography.
Exactly. Can't put that soundtrack on a wedding.
No, yeah. Since I don't know, like I started like a couple of years ago, I found this genre, lo-fi music.
Yeah.
I love it so much. So it really helps me to get back in the mood
Yeah,
with editing wedding photos. It's so great, so good. It's like there's hardly any singing.
Yeah, okay,
Just
yeah,
music?
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Yeah, it
Just
works.
random sounds.
Yeah, just sounds
Well mating. Relaxing.
relaxing. Yeah, so that's my jam.
Yeah.
In a downtime a little bit.
Cool. The other thing about the mental health side of things for me is not only the on the night presence that you've got to be on your A game, but you've constantly got to make sure that the social media side of things of your business is also,
Yep.
and you have time to do that and balance that social media. I'm a slave to social media, but in saying that, I've realised now how important mental health is, because if you don't have the right frame of mind, it has a negative snowball effect to your business, because although you can pull it off on the night and be happy and wear that mask, but then the social media side of things, the marketing, the promotional side of things takes a back step. Like for me, I promote everything on social media, but if you go on there now, I haven't posted anything for a month, where I would be, 2 or 3 times a day posting something, because you got to be relevant on social media. That's the thing. You got to be consistent. You got to be relevant. All the things that you teach and you preach that I tell my students, I haven't done for the last month because of my mental health. I can fake it on the night, make sure that everybody has a great time and everybody doesn't know any different on the night. But then when you're doesn't get done and you don't get your admin done. So emails, you get an inquiry coming in, that's work, but you don't get back to them, 3 days time, you've lost the lead. They've already booked somebody else. And those sort of things is detrimental to your business moving forward, because that's your ongoing business. But then the other side that affects your mental health, in what I've experienced, all of this has happened in the last 12 months for this. I hadn't experienced it before. Is that negativity within the industry as well, for people that want to sort of see you fail, or not want to see you fail, but aren't upset that you have failed. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And you got that going on in the back of your mind as well. That people are looking at what's happening to your business and going, okay, yeah, cool.
He's still alive.
Yeah. And go, I can do this, I can do that. Yeah. So there's so many pieces to the jigsaw puzzle that comes under the mental health, brand or title, that affects us being self-employed with more than just being present on the day. There's all the other subsidiary stuff admin, social media, promotion, expos, all that sort of stuff.
I think for me, it's all about prioritizing
Yep.
what to do first with whatever you have left with your mental health.
Yeah.
So, like you said, you haven't posted in a month or so.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably the same. I used to post every week or like once every 2 days. Now it's just, I'd rather get back to inquiries and emails and, editing and stuff before I do social media again. Because I think, yeah.
But the problem is, it's like our future client is always looking at our social media presence. That's the problem. They always see like our posts, our
Stories.
and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem.
For me, the social media side of things there is, like I said, I haven't posted anything for the irony of it is that I've got the content ready to go. You just haven't got the time to actually go there and draft up the comments or the
captions,
the caption of what you want to do. Yeah, and it could only be a few lines, but that takes the hardest to think so that you're not the same thing all the time there. And the irony is, I've got a content creator that does exclusively all my work. So Jess from Time to Shine, she's got all of that ready to go for me, and it's like she goes, "I've done. Did you get that?" I say, "I did. I just haven't had time there." So she thinks on the feet, and what she's done, she goes, "You know what? I'm just going to make you a collaborator. You just accept it. Then it's going to go on your timeline, whatever I post on mine." I said, "Perfect." And that's pretty much how I've been surviving Insta at the moment. Is I'm collaborating. Yeah, I'm a collaborator, so it comes up on my feed as well.
Yeah.
That's the benefit of having that collaboration option on Insta. But Facebook, you've got to physically get on there and do it. Although you can schedule it and they have all the tools, but. It's just actually finding time to do it, or wanting to do it, I suppose, is more the point, Procrastination is also another big killer for a lot of us. When you've got distractions, like you said, Netflix and all that, you go, oh, yeah, just watch this, and then, it's 2 a.m, okay, I've got emails to do. Yeah, so a lot of people that get emails from me is from ridiculous hours of the morning that I'm still awake, because I just might as well just do the emails. So 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning is people are not surprised when they get an email from me at that time of night.
Yeah. So how can wedding professionals, wedding vendors, recognize early signs of burnout and to take preventive action?
For me, the signs were there, but I ignored them, and because I hadn't experienced it before. So I think the early signs is that fatigue is the first thing that sort of creeps in there, and when it happens, that fatigue is your body telling you to slow down. It's just like you need to slow, but then you just like, you know what? I'm just going to push through. I'm just going to push through this and get it done there, and that's where it starts to become a problem, because your body then gets used to you pushing through, and then when you've got you're just running on vapors, at the end of the day you've got nothing left in the tank, and you just collapse. So once you start feeling that fatigue or muddiness as far as your thoughts and how you're thinking about things and all that sort of stuff, they're all signs that okay, you just need to just slow down a bit. Slow down, whether it's an hour or so, go for a walk, go for a drive, do something just to get your mind off it. Because when your mind is constantly on the go, it affects your physical being as well. So that psychological way of how your brain works is going to affect physically how your body's going to react to that, and your body is you've got no control of that. When it's had enough, it just stops, and you just fall down like a bag of shit, and it's like it makes you stop. Just be aware of the fatigue, and if you feel that you're tired but you haven't done anything strenuous, it's like, okay, that's your mind telling your body, you're tired. Go and take some time out. A lot easier said than done, but I guess that's what you've got to do. You've got to listen to your body, listen to the signs.
That's good. Like for us as a wedding vendor, self-employed, person, it's really different than for those of you guys like working in office,
Yeah.
like 9 to 5.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
They say hello in the good morning at the start of the day, and goodbye, have a good night by the end of the day.
Yeah.
And then when they get home, they don't think about work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nah, nothing. And then on the weekends, they don't even want to touch anything about work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like for us, it's different.
It is.
Like on the-
24/7.
Yeah, 24/7, exactly. Like we have to plan like what to do on the weekends, like on the job.
Yep.
Like after the job, we have to do this processing
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep. You're always constantly
Yeah,
thinking and doing.
24/7.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part for me was that transition from going Monday to Friday full time working, then DJing on the weekend. My downtime was DJing at that time, so that was my relaxation time on the weekend. I was working, but I was doing what I loved and all that sort of stuff. So the transition from going full time work and part time DJ to the other way around, where it's just full time DJing or full time entertainment there, that then created a whole new way of thinking for me. Is that I don't have any downtime because my work is my downtime as before. So now it's all incorporated in one. So it's just 24/7 about the business. And it's true when people say, you work harder for yourself than you do for anybody else. And that's 100% true. If you get paid 9 to 5, you're just going to give 9 to 5. That's it. There's no more, no less. You pay me an hourly rate. I give you what, you pay me. Don't care, if you're sick, just take a sickie, or your kid's having an assembly and get an award, chuck a sickie and go to school. You've got that option, whereas we don't. We got the flexibility of doing it and going to those events, but we've got to make time for it as well. If we're sick, it's like, okay. Toughen up, princess. Suck it up. Yep, Panadol, Nurofen. Here we go. Let's do this.
And also, if you want to book in holidays, like it needs to be like a year in advance.
At least a year in
At
advance.
least a
Yeah.
year.
Just book out your whole month or something. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, we can't do on the spur things,
No.
like camping trips and all
No.
that. Hey, we just go
Long weekends.
Long
Yeah.
weekends, yeah, long weekend. Yeah. Oh yeah,
What's a long weekend?
Yeah, well that's it. I don't realise because I don't look at the next day or the day before the date that I'm looking at for availability. I get a job on a Sunday. You don't. Yeah, okay, Sunday. And then you think, okay, Sunday early finish. 10 o'clock, 10:30 usually. And then it's not until the week of it, and then people start talking about the long weekend. When's the long weekend? This weekend. Ah, shit. That's why I've got a wedding on Sunday. That means they're going to go till stumps because they've got the next day off.
That's it.
Oh, man. And people are going away, and you're like, no, I'm working on a Sunday, and it's the long weekend.
Yeah. All right, Brandon, thank you so much for coming.
Thank
It
you.
has been an absolute pleasure, guys. It's so much fun. Just chatting.
Yeah.
And hopefully, people watching this get some benefit out of it. And look after your mental health because that's really something close to my heart that has been brought to the forefront. So, as far as wedding vendors in particular, you're not alone. That's my advice. You're not alone. I've found that out. Swallowed my pride. Reached out. Other people that reached out to me has just given me that safety net that I need now in the probably the worst 12 months of my life, going through what currently going with Mel and with Noah and with the financial side of things as well, battling banks with regards to all that sort of stuff. So so for me the last 9 months has opened my eyes, in particular the last 3 months. So that's the best advice. Reach out, talk to somebody. And get help. It doesn't matter what your pride is. You always need help. No matter how strong you are and how broad your shoulders are, you need help. And I found out, and guys like you, other friends in the industry as well. I'm truly grateful to have that support and network within the industry, and you're not alone. So reach out, guys. That's pretty much my message for mental health for wedding vendors, self-employed within the industry. Thanks for having me.
Cool.
Thank you. And then follow Brandon on social media of the whole promotions.
Yeah. When I start posting stuff again.
You get more time. When you get more time. I guess.
When I get more time. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully soon, and yeah, content will be there, and you'll just go, oh shit, he's back on again. Here we go.
This guy.
Sick of seeing it. Yeah. We're back on there. So yeah, and I really appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk about that. So yeah, thank you for that.
No, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
All right,
Done.
bye.
Bye.
See ya.